Girl, remember you said you're gonna change this year? Okay. Well, January has passed. We're not even making those micro changes. And you and I are on the same journey in building this prosperous life, the lifestyle sitting on our Pinterest board. But sometimes we just let our fears consume us. Sometimes we allow our fear to consume us to the point where we are self-doubting our abilities that we haven't even put on, like we haven't even applied it yet. So how can we just like start doubting ourselves when we haven't even taken the first step? Like, fear is such a crazy thing. Like, it's such a thing that is like essentially made up. It's made up from all our like thoughts, our overthinking. And I'm such an overthinker. Like, I let my overthinking dictate my next move, and that's not good. Like, honestly, that's not good. And I feel like you're doing the same thing because you're allowing this fear to consume your mind, which then leads you to saturate your mind with all this doubt that you don't need at all. And I think it's also because of things you're saying out loud, where you're like, oh, like this just feels so hard. Like, saying that specific word, this feels hard, already is training your mind, telling it that, oh damn, like, yeah, my body can't do this. Like, my body can't pick up the first step. Like, if you actually genuinely just change your perspective and actually just change the word choices that come out of your mouth, like saying, oh, this is actually easy, your mind will already be like, okay, like, I feel comfortable with this. Like, this is not alarming to my system right now. So we just have to like essentially be more in control of our word choices, so that we are not allowing ourselves to fall into this limbo of self-doubt, because we don't need that. Like, we don't need that. And you can genuinely do anything that you put your mind to. You have so much capability. You have so much capabilities that nobody else has, because you are unique to yourself. What you can do, someone else can't do. The things you can bring to the table, the creativity that you can bring to the table is something that someone else can't do. But at the same time, if you are coming up with all these amazing ideas, someone else is going to run with those ideas, because your ideas are genuinely great. And more time you'll realize that, damn, like Rihanna just came out with that same idea that I was thinking of. You know what I mean? So you have to essentially need to understand that nothing comes with hard work. And hard work is not meaning like doing that labor like 24/7. No, it's being smart with the labor. It's working smart. It's not getting to the point where it's going to drain you, where it's going to make you lose your love for the passion and essentially make you think, oh, this is like another 9-to-5 job. Like, I would have probably been better off in a 9-to-5. No, it's not that. It's just playing smart with it. It's still making sure that you're not draining yourself to the point where you're not losing the love for it. You don't want to allow this to consume you. You want to be able to have fun with it, because at the end of the day, this is something that you're passionate about. And when you start, you know, a new business, or you pick up a hobby, whatever it is that's gonna help you grow into this person that you want to be, you don't want it to consume you. You don't want it to drain you. You want to be able to feel like it's creating this adrenaline in you. The dopamine effect comes in play, not when it starts making you feel drained, where you're working up all night on it because you just feel like you need to show up for your audience, or to show up for your team, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. You can't be thinking like that, because that's when you can't allow it to drain you. You want to be able to, like, the things that you want to pursue, you don't want it to drain you. You want it to feel prosperous. You want it to feel like it's giving you this adrenaline rush, a dopamine effect that you always get from when you're starting something new and it's something exciting, and when you're planning things. And also, you just want to create a routine that allows you to enjoy it. Like, you can't just like sit there and not do anything about it, but you also can't just overwhelm yourself by working so hard and being in this hustle mind culture. Like, don't allow yourself to fall into that, because that's when your goals will fall into that too, and that's when you'll start hating what you like, what you once liked, you know what I mean? And also, like, you gotta put yourself first as well. You gotta put your self-care first, your body, your mind, your soul, all first, before you allow any of this to kind of like dictate it. Because you can't actually function or actually put your goals into actions if your mind or your emotions or your spirit or your body is not in the right place. It's not in that mode where it can actually get you moving, if that makes sense. Like, say for example, emotionally you're just not there right now because you're going through a heartbreak and you're trying to heal your childhood trauma. Essentially trying to pick up a hobby that you love and turning into a job could potentially just become draining, if that makes sense. But it can also go two ways. It can also become a mechanism too to help you feel better too, which is something I'm gonna like talk about in another video. You have all these goals and no one else is going to be able to pick it up and do it for you. Sometimes we allow our anxiety to get in the way. Like me, for example, there's been so many times where I've let anxiety consume me and put me in this limbo, right? A limbo where it's so dark and difficult to kind of come out of, and it leads you to procrastination, where I'm not picking up my goals. I'm actually just doing the same things, like the short-term gratifications, like binge watching Netflix or scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on my Pinterest board. But it's just crazy. Like, it's crazy how that can actually allow, like, how anxiety can take over your entire existence, because that's how it feels for me. And one thing that made me come out of this is asking myself this one question, like, if I knew how long I had to live, which is kind of extreme, I know it's kind of extreme, but if I genuinely knew how long I had to live, like say for example I had like 12 months or 24 months left or 6 months, I always ask myself that question whenever I'm stuck in that limbo, because I'm like, what would I actually want to do? And the truth is, I would actually want to, if it was 6 months left, I would use all my savings and go traveling for sure, go to those countries that I haven't even visited yet, but that's been on my bucket list for so many years, and also just be able to meet new people and cultures and just make memories. That's what I want to do in 6 years, sorry, in 6 months. If I found out I had like 2 or 1 year, I would literally like go all into my goals and genuinely leave my 9 to 5. Like, that's what I would genuinely do. Not be consumed into climbing up the career ladder, but actually do things that I love and actually execute them, because at least I know that I'm not gonna have any regret that I didn't actually execute any of them. You know what I mean? And that's the same goes for you as well. Like, sometimes it can come across as a really crazy weird question, but really just sit down and have that sort of like accountability, self-reflection conversation with yourself, just you and yourself, like you and your thoughts. Just take your thoughts out and really speak, and even speak to God if you want to. Like, that really helps me too. Writing letters to God is my way of journaling. But essentially just like have that conversation with yourself, ask that question, because it's a really deep question and it really gets you thinking, like, damn, like, what would I actually do? And it puts you in this like dopamine effect, this adrenaline rush that you randomly just get, and it makes you start pursuing things and really hold on to that. Like, really hold on to that adrenaline rush that you're gonna get after really asking yourself that question, because it's really going to make you start thinking things and start thinking about your habits. Like, you're not going to want to waste your couple months or couple years binge watching. You wouldn't want to do that. Like, realistically, you wouldn't, because you can't like allow yourself to live in this lifestyle of yours only in your mind. Like, you have the potential to live that lifestyle, not just in your mind, but actually for a living. So let's stop conditioning our minds about this lifestyle and actually condition our minds to change our habits that's going to get us to the lifestyle and actually live that lifestyle, if that makes sense. Because these short-term gratifications, binge watching, scrolling on TikTok, doom scrolling on TikTok, is not going to get you to your goals, okay? Only changing bad habits is going to get you to places that you have never even thought, like, damn, I can actually reach them. So let's just change our perspectives and change our habits and tell ourselves that these things that we want to achieve are genuinely easy, and then only our body is going to be ready to adapt to them and actually make those changes and get to the places that you want to be at, you know? and we want to drop all the planning. We want to drop all the planning, watching all those videos on YouTube on how to become better, XYZ. You know everything, like genuinely, you know everything that you want to achieve. You know how to actually achieve them, but you watch all these videos and you read those books to sometimes just fulfill yourself that you're actually being proactive, that you're actually, you know, doing something. But these things that you're doing aren't actually productive. It's only going to be productive once you've applied the knowledge. Like, knowledge is not power without action, okay? Knowledge is not power without action. That knowledge is just going to sit there, and you have all that knowledge in your mind. So share it, and share it with your actions. Like, meet your knowledge with your actions, so then you can actually get things done that's best for you. And you're not going to be relying on motivation, because motivation is, it goes up and down. It fluctuates. Only discipline will get you to places where you want to be at. And at the end of the month, give yourselves like a review. Like at the end of the month, also give yourself like a review, like a self dissecting review. Like, I've been doing this at the end, so like literally yesterday I was really just dissecting everything that I have achieved and what I haven't, what my habits were for the month. That's something that you need to try and do for yourself too, because that will allow you to then make those small changes, and it's only small changes that you are required to get things done and to become better. Like, it's always 1%. How can you become 1% better today? That is something that you need to ask yourself. Anyways, I love you, and I'll see you later. Bye.